Mr. Kwaku ENNIN, I welcome you to the podium and share with us the Ghana perspective.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. I bring you greetings from Ghana. Kwaku ENNIN is my name, Chief Executive Officer of Zeal Environmental Technologies Limited. Zeal provides oilfield waste management services. In Ghana, we have the Jubilee partners, that is Tallow, Cosmos Energy, and Adako, and other companies. I'm here to share with you the experience of Ghana, what we've gone through over the years with regards to the management of the oil generated waste. Ghana and Uganda appears to have found oil just at the same time. And before the industry started in Ghana, Zeal foresaw the need for the setting up of the oilfield waste management facility, because if you talk about oil and gas industry, one of the key issues is waste management, environmental issues. 30 minutes, just a short time for me to go through all we've gone through to share with you, but I will do my best to just summarize the experience that we've gone through so that we can share with all participants. I thank the organizers of this conference, His Excellency the Norwegian Ambassador, and my brother, Dr. Tom Nema, Executive Director, and the sponsors of this conference for making it possible for me to be here this morning. Thank you so much. Right, before the emergence of the oil and gas industry, Zeal has been mandated by the International Maritime Organization to offer waste management services or manage all the commercial vessels waste berthing at the Takoradi port. In Ghana, we have two ports, the Tema port and the Takoradi port. And Takoradi port is closer to where the oil and gas industry activity is centered. So we are managing our commercial vessels generated waste. Commercial vessels are not allowed to discharge their waste into the sea in the course of planning their trade. And therefore, member countries of the IMO are obligated to set up or to contract a company to manage all commercial vessels generated waste. And because the oil and gas industry in Ghana is offshore, and then Uganda, you're drilling onshore. In Ghana, is offshore. So before the industry started, Zeal had been providing maritime environmental services to the commercial vessels. And we saw the industry coming, that is the oil and gas industry, and said to ourselves, if you talk about oil and gas industry, a key consideration here is how the waste being generated is going to be managed. So we took advantage of our presence at the Takoradi port to position ourselves strategically to offer the services to the emerging industry. We acquired a 30 acres plot of land about 30 miles away from Takoradi port to set up the degraded oilfield waste management facility. In this presentation, we go through the content, the corporate profile, the team, services, and solutions. As an environmental company, we need to adhere to the environmental protocols. And before we even started operating, we had to do the baseline studies to be able to get a permit from the Environmental Protection Agency of Ghana. And Zeal is highly committed to environment, health and safety as core values and basis for long-term success and environmental leadership. We comply with international best practices on environment, safety, health, trading, and emergency response. We understand and agree that the oil and gas industry is an international organization. International industry, all the operators are expecting us to adopt best industrial practice to give them the comfort that we have the competence to be able to manage their generated waste. Zeal was established in 1977 to provide corrosion engineering and structural maintenance solutions to the mining companies. Ghana was first called Gold Coast because we had a lot of gold, and therefore Ghana has a vibrant gold mining companies. And Zeal for about 25 years offered corrosion engineering services to the mining companies. But in 2006, when the oil and gas industry started in Ghana, Zeal Environmental Technologies was set up and took over the activities of Zeal, and as I said, to operate the Takoradi port in conformity with the MAPOL 7378. That is commercial vessels, maritime pollution issues. Currently, Zeal, with a staff of 150, provides oil fields and industrial waste management services to the oil and gas industry in Ghana. Our services is not limited to the oil and gas industry alone. We also provide services to the mining companies. You know, the International Finance Company has investment in the oil activities of Tullow and others, as well as Newmont. Newmont is a mining company, so they were requested to use our facility because the IFC has investment in Newmont and they didn't want to suffer any liability. Currently, our transboundary waste services extend to Mauritania, Sierra Leone, Liberia, the Ivory Coast, Togo, Benin, Equatorial Guinea. What do I mean by transboundary? There is activity, or there are activities. Other Gulf of Guinea countries have found oil. Sierra Leone has found oil. Talisman and Luke Oil has activities in Sierra Leone. Chevron is operating in Liberia. African Petroleum is operating also in Liberia. ExxonMobil will be operating in Liberia 2015. Togo, we have ENNIN Togo, and Benin, we have Petrobras CBH, and recently Hunt Oil. They are also operating in Benin, and we also service Equatorial Guinea. Now, the transboundary management of waste at our facility is simple this. Because there are no infrastructure development in those countries, these countries are managing all their oil-based waste at our facility in Ghana. But they need to go through their protocols, the Bamako and the Basel conventions, before they could transboundary their waste in Ghana. We also offer tank cleaning solutions to vessels, oil rigs, both offshore and onshore, and tank farms. Tullow, GNOCC, Total will agree with me that there's a need for tank cleaning services. You know, because activity is offshore, the oil rigs uses the supply vessels to transport their consumables, the pipes, the drilling fluids, and other chemicals for the activity. Now, if a supply vessels come back to take maybe barrel or any other fluids, then they need to clean the tanks of the supply vessels to avoid cross-contamination. So Zeal offers these services to the industry in Ghana. And we also offer tank cleaning services to the rigs. Not only in Ghana, but to the other countries that I've mentioned. And we also clean tank farms. Ghana, we refine our oil. And therefore, there are a lot of tank farms, both for the refinery and also for imported finished products. And there's a need for these tanks to be cleaned occasionally as the industry demands. So we also offer tank cleaning services. Now, Zeal also provides shoreline oil spill and cleanup response. With the oil and gas industry, because our activities is offshore, in the event of a spill, it is going to land on the onshore. And the question is, as Dr. Tom said, the fear. In the event of an oil spill, what happens to the communities living along the shoreline? Are the economic activities going to be impacted negatively? So there's a need for an organization to build capacity to manage oil spill response. In Ghana, we have about 40 communities on the shoreline where the economic and social activities are most likely to suffer in the event of a spill. So Zeal has built capacity. We've identified the communities, engaged the community leaders and the chiefs. We sent an organization, oil spill response for Southampton in the UK, to come over and train these technicians so that in the event of a spill, they will be the first respondents. And this has assured the communities living along the shoreline that in the event of a spill, the economic and social activities are not going to be impacted negatively. Zeal, our vision is to provide safe and efficient, cost-effective end-to-end onshore and offshore environmental services and solutions to our customers. We envisage Zeal as a market leader providing cutting-edge services, international best practice solutions to oilfield waste management. Confidentiality. Our clients, we share information with our clients. So our clients expect us to be mindful of the information that they provide us and we share with them. So the assurance is that whatever information that our clients share with us during the course of doing business with us, please, there will be no leakage. We are going to protect the information shared, and we are also going to protect whatever that goes on between ourselves in the best interests of the industry. See, local content focus. I guess, Dr. Tom, you've been ordering about local content. Whenever there's oil found, the expectation of the people is so high. How am I going to benefit? The expectation is that, we always find Uganda, and within 2 years, my economic circumstance is going to be changed. That is not the reality. So in Ghana, what have we done? You see, we have invested in human resource. In the other words, human capacity investment. Zeal has partnered with the institutions of higher learning in Ghana. We have Kwame University of Science and Technology. They train our chemical engineers for us. They train our mechanical engineers for us. They train electrical engineers and environmental scientists and industrial chemists. So that's the pool of an institution where we get our trainings, our students to train. Because we need to impart skills to them. And you agree with me that the oil and gas industry is knowledge-based. We need to have the requisite knowledge, we need to have the requisite skills before even you can get a job to do in the industry. Because drilling activity, average one well, takes about 40-45 days. And the capital outlay in that is between about 80 to about $100 million. So Tullow and Total, they spend so much money. It's capital-intensive industry. So they don't have the luxury to wait for Uganda and Ghana to train our people. They will import from Singapore. Tullow will import from Malaysia. because the industry is capital intensive. So what we did in Ghana is we started building human capacity so that by the time the industry took off, we had a pool of resources, that human resource, to be able to play important role in the industry. What all of us must also understand is this: the oil and gas industry is cost recovery or cost deductible. The operators will assemble their cost end of the year and deduct their costs before even they share the profit or they pay whatever is due to Uganda government. You see, so if there's any way for Uganda and Ghana to benefit from the industry, we need to assist the operator to cut down the operating costs so that the benefit could also be translated to the economy of Uganda. And this is what we did in Ghana by investing so much in capacity building. Our competent staff includes environmental, health and safety professionals, mechanical, chemical, petroleum, civil, marine and gas engineers, chemists, laboratory technicians, administrators, accountants, IT professionals, certified welders, and fabricators, among others. And I think what we're here to share information, we're here to share what we went through. When it comes to technical skills transfer, what we did in Ghana was to partner the technical institutions. And the challenge was, why is it that I'm a technician, I'm a trained welder, but I'm not getting a job to do in the industry? Uganda, when you start building the oil refinery, you are going to encounter the same challenge, because with the oil refinery, there'll be the need to construct a pipeline, as my friend indicated in his presentation, to transport the crude oil to the refinery. And this will call for fabricators. And you need certified fabricators, certified welders. So the issue was, why is it that I'm a technically trained person that I'm not getting a job to do? Yes, you've got the basic institution training, but you need to be certified to be able to get job to do in the industry. And this, I think, I'm here to share with our brothers in Uganda so that we start investing in human resource. We need to invest in human capital so that Ugandans could derive the maximum benefit of the industry. Our services and solutions: port reception facility, waste collection and transport, early waste treatment, hazardous waste incineration, scrap recycling and management, bioremediation of contaminated soils, drilling mud waste management, automated vessel and tank cleaning, transboundary waste management, research and development. Now, the oil and gas industry also comes with other industries that needs to be supported. Now, in Ghana, all the scrap, okay, because the industry generates a lot of scrap. In the offshore activity, even onshore activity, you use chemicals to drill. And these chemicals are imported contained in metal containers and plastic containers. Talon or Total wouldn't want any of these containers to get to the market where somebody could use this container to store water with its health hazard. So in Ghana, Zeal, we invested in equipment where we shred all the plastic containers, and we also cut into pieces the seed drums so that it will be unattractive for anybody to use it to store water. What we use this waste for, or the managed plastics and the seed drums for, we have a lot of smelter companies in Ghana. They produce iron rods. You see, so all these steel waste or metal waste that we receive from the oil fields, we send them to these facilities as part of their raw material base. You see, so this cuts down the import cost of these materials or the raw materials, and in a way, the money that could have otherwise spent on importing iron rods, that money is retained in Ghana. And we also have plastic recycling factories in Ghana. So all the recycled plastics are also shipped or sent to these recycling facilities as part of the raw material base. So for Zeal, waste is no waste. Unless, of course, you don't have the competence and the capacity to add value to waste. For us, waste is money. The port recycling facility, yes, we are based at the Takoradi port. So when we receive the waste from the supply vessels, this waste is transported to our facility about 30 miles away. So this is a typical example of a facility at the Takoradi port. The fuel tanker there is receiving waste, oil wastewater and other hydrocarbon from the vessel, and these are transported to our facility in conformity with the MAPOS and the 378 treaty. Waste collection transport. The shore base, the oil field camps, pipe yards, and residences. Our services not limited only to the offshore activity. We also service tallow yards, where they have the staff residences. Tallow also has a lot of pipe yards. We also service or manage the waste at the pipe yards. We also operate at the naval base. In Ghana, we have the naval base. And because of challenges of having a berthing space, the supply vessels also uses the naval base. So we also service the industry for the naval base. And these are typical examples of our receptacles. The industry is capital intensive. Capital intensive. You need to get the requisite receptacles. You need to invest in the right kind of equipment to be able to give confidence to Tallow and Total that yes, this company has what it takes to manage my waste, because Tallow and Total wants to avoid any liability. We have the oil waste treatment section at our facility. We manage oil waste water, we manage waste brine, wash water slabs, dirty water, monoethylene glycol, chemical residue, and methanol. That's why we have to train a lot of chemical engineers. So these are some of the wastes that we treat. Now, what is oily wastewater? Sometimes the waste that we receive from oil fields contains certain amount of water, and therefore there's a need for us to separate the water from the oil. And we also have a chemical lab that's down there where all affluent is tested before we discharge it. And EPA in Ghana has given us the parameters. So before we discharge any water, after subjecting the water and the oil to our treatment facility, we conduct chemical tests to assure ourselves that look, the water that we're discharging conforms to the regulatory permit that has been given us. So we have the laboratory down there where we subject all our chemical waste to laboratory tests. And we use the IFC parameters or the US-based parameters in order to conduct our lab tests. Unfortunately, in Ghana, we have the Atomic Energy Commission, the Nuclear Science Department of the University of Ghana. We have the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research. Their duty is to manage the water resources in Ghana. And Zeal, we've partnered with all these institutions. So we do some of these tests in-house, but we subject some of our chemical tests to these organizations to be able to compare the results. So that's what we do. Now, management of hazardous waste. We manage oily racks, use PPEs, chemical sacks, use filters, use filter membranes, expired medicines, medical waste, paint cans, and waste cans. We had to invest in incinerator costing about $1 million. At the time we started, you know, the industry was just emerging, so we stored all the hazardous waste that needed to be managed. Because at that time, it did not make economic sense for us to invest in $1 million incinerator, whereas the quantum of hazardous waste coming was was not enough, was not sufficient to enable us to recover our investments. So until such time that we had sufficient waste to manage, that's where we invested in the incinerator. So all the hazardous waste we incinerate at our facility. And services for the incineration is not limited to the oil and gas industry alone. We also manage the industry, the mining industries as well. Yes, scrap metal management. We have the shredding and crushing machine. We chemical plastic drums, chemical seed drums, plastic bottle plastics, intermediate bulk containers, scrap metal drinking cans, and the rest. What you see right down there is the metal crushing machine. You put in you activate it, and within 1 minute, the steel metal is crushed to 1 centimeter. In that case, nobody will be attracted or motivated to use it to store water, to kind of bring problems to the industry. And we also have in the plastic shredding machine. The oil companies also generate wood waste. So what we do is we give those that can be reused, we reuse them at our facility. Now, bioremediation of contaminated soils. In Ghana, the oil companies are using oil-based flames and sometimes, synthetic flames, and therefore the waste, the drain cartons at the map, they contain certain amount of oil. So the question is, how are we managing the drain cartons and the mud contaminated with soil, with oil? Before we manage the mud, we take samples to determine the heavy metals in the mud. We subject the mud to radioactive testing to ensure that there are no heavy metals and radioactive materials in the mud. Now, we use the mud to mold blocks. That is stabilization and reuse of the mud. And the water-based mud, heavy sludge and highly contaminated soils. And these are not for commercial use. The EPA gave us permit to use the drain cuttings and oil-based mud that we've managed to produce blocks for industrial use only. And here again, if you come to a facility, most of the fence walls and the structures came out of the blocks that we ourselves molded internally. And we also give some of these blocks to schools and the district assembly as part of our social responsibility program. So that's how we manage the blocks. But HES is partnering with us to improve upon this. That's why we decided to go to bioremediation. And I guess when I visited our website yesterday, when I came down, I saw a lot of the water-based mud that has been consolidated. And I think this technology will be good. Okay, the bioremediation for tallow fields, the mud that we've consolidated, and also I saw the pond where the oils have been stored. We have the capacity and the technology to manage those items. I have 4 minutes. I talked about tank cleaning. These are the equipment that we use for the tank cleaning. Now, when Uganda starts producing oil, you are going to build tank farms, just like what is there on the left-hand side there. And as I said, this tank, when you're cleaning these tanks, it will be impossible to subject any human being to go inside the tank and clean it. So we have invested in a manual entry equipment where one could clean these tanks remotely, okay, without subjecting any human being to go inside the tank to avoid any accident, because it's a confined space entry. So we also do tank farms onshore. Yes, I talked about oil spill. This white bulb there contains our oil spill equipment. And this is training that we give to our workers with regard to the oil spill, to be able to manage oil spill when it happens. And that's where our services run to. We are in Mauritania, we are in Sierra Leone, we are in Liberia, La Côte d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin. That's where we also provided our services. And what would be the value for Uganda? In the event that Zeal decides, okay, let us go to Uganda and replicate our services in Uganda. These are some of the values. A waste management facility in Uganda would eliminate costs and risk of transboundary management of waste, bring financial gains by retaining taxes and funds in Uganda, ensure proper monitoring of the waste management and transfer technology and employable skills to boost local content jobs, create jobs to complement the Uganda government's employment reduction efforts. So when we set up the waste management, we also kind of support the government's unemployment program by employing people. We are employing about 150 workers. The dependency level in Ghana is about 10 persons to 10 people. So in a way, we are feeding about 1,500 people. So I guess, it's but the other gas industry, some of the industry that in the sector could also employ people and train them to be able to reduce their unemployment challenges in Uganda. We've been honored to have the American ambassador in Ghana visiting our facility, as well as the Norwegian ambassador in Ghana. She's on the right-hand side there, she's a lady. And just recently, we had a visit from the Honorable Werikehe, the chairperson of the Uganda Parliament Oil and Gas Energy. He visited our facility in Ghana. And every part of the year, we also had a privilege to host Uganda Wildlife. They also conducted a facility tour in Ghana. I came here last year, as I said, and had the privilege to visit Talos oil fields. And this is what I saw. You see the water-based mud consolidated, and the up there is the hydrocarbons. That shall be consolidated. And we have the competence to manage this waste. These are collaborations. We collaborate with the Ghana National Petroleum Company, the EPA Ghana, the Ghana Maritime Authority, Atomic Energy Commission, and Dow Chemicals, where we import our chemicals and other consumables. We also partner with the University of Ghana and the University of Cape Coast. I was happy when I learned that the Macquarie University is part of this organization. What I would suggest is this. You see, when we train the students in the lecture halls, they need to have practical experience, because what we learn theoretically is totally different practically. So in Ghana, we've opened our doors to the students to do the practical and research studies at our facility. And we open up, for this kind of collaboration between our facility and the Uganda University, so that some of these students could be trained at our facility, so that when he's talking about oil-based math, he knows what he's talking about, but not only in the lecture halls. Our client, Talo, Cosmo, Vitol, Luke Oil Heads, MI Swapo, Chevron, Transocean, Baker Hughes, Technip, and the rest. We also engage in social responsibility, supporting the communities around our catchment area, supporting schools, and also providing electricity to the communities as part of the social responsibility program. So we share the money that we derive as benefits with the community where we operate to be able to operate peacefully, because they consider themselves as part of Zeal. Managing the oil and gas waste is a core responsibility in putting our environment in the right path for sustainable development. That is it. Thanks so much. God bless you.
Thank you, CEO. Much as he entered a few seconds into the time, I said I shouldn't disrupt him because he showed us a way. I'm sorry to use this example, but I've always lamented to wonder what prayers people who sell coffin boxes do pray in church. So much as there could be people here who are wondering about the effects of oil, why wouldn't you look at the technologies that would reduce those effects? Why would you only lament on those problems? Why wouldn't you now say, I can see a problem, I'm going to solve it? The mechanic, when he's getting dirty, as he's fixing the car, he knows he's going to take bread home for his children. On that note, I will invite the next presenter.